What's the #1 record right now? We need to make another one of those. Stop doing that! You're not original! Give me some original shit! Stop! Just fucking do something else! Just, god damn it! Do some different music! Do something else! Do something else! That's it! That's all we want! Do something else! Holy shit!
All right. So how to become an artist, but stay original. Whether or not you like Kanye, please push that to the side, because what I'm gonna teach can be applied to anything. Just put your ego aside and listen for a second. So starting with #1, the most important thing is to create for yourself. And by creating for self, I mean for your own emotional well-being, your expression and your enjoyment. Are you loving what you do? Are you able to express freely 100% what you're able to do? And can you get out the emotion that you want to get out? Kanye is an excellent example of this, especially in these recent Donda live streams. The production is not popular. It doesn't sound like everything else that's on Billboard right now. It doesn't even sound like everything else in rap right now. We need originality. We need people who are brave enough to not think that they have to sit down and say, what's on top 40? Let me make exactly that. Kanye is basically just doing this to express his grief for his mother that he lost many years ago, as well as recently getting into, a divorce with his wife. He's losing his family. And so he puts on this stage every emotion he's felt from these losses. Now, the thing is, in creating for yourself, you have to learn how not to care about what other people say about you.
The weirdo was winning. I was moonwalking in a wig. It was already making alternative rap and not fully being, again, accepted by like the BETs or like a lot of them shit I've been dealing with, and that's dealing with my whole life. That sat with him because his whole identity is we the best, we the #1. And when the underdog to him took that away from him, that nigga ego was deflated.
The move for music, for art in general, for businesses, for everything in the world, especially in the creative realm, is to be authentic in everything that you do. Be yourself. Do what you want to do because you like it, not because your audience likes it, not because you think it's gonna sell 1 million records or 1 million copies or whatever. Do what you wanna do because it sounds good to you. And if you love it, other people are going to love it. If you're passionate about it, other people are gonna be passionate about it. #2 is going to be make good visuals. Look at this visual. I know it's very simple and I know he's not really doing anything, but it's a peculiar visual. It's something that's very cryptic. There's something mysterious about all this. So these are all the people that came out, the extras. It's his cast. He made a visual experience, and Kanye does this very well, incorporating human beings, people, into your art. You got to find a way to do it, because it also is another way to get people to really love you as an artist. When you make them feel like they can relate to you, they can connect to you. He puts himself out there on the chopping block in the middle of a stadium, cries for people to see the authenticity. It's not a performance. I mean, it is, but it's not a faked performance. He's literally crying. So in this case, we're converting energy. Kanye is converting his negative, down, sad, depressed, maybe, I don't know if he's depressed, but just his heavy, sad energy, converted it into this authentic music he created that sounds totally different because it is authentic. It's not trying to be top 40. It's not trying to copy other people. It's not trying to win awards. It's not trying to do anything else other than express. The way to be true to yourself is just to be yourself and show that in whatever you create. #3, paying attention to details or the lack thereof. Oh, you look at this, you think, dang, that's a really small setup. Like, there's nothing here. But then when you realize where he's at, boom. He knows how to play both sides of the fence. He knows how to be a minimalist and a maximalist at the same time. And this is the perfect representation of yin and yang, the balance. Every artist needs some sort of balance in how they present themselves. I remember when I went to the Life of Pablo or St. Pablo tour, there was like wolf sounds, wind sounds, ambient noise when we first went to the Life of Pablo, the show.
Some weird ambient music and wolves in the background. It's very eerie, but it's like setting the tone for the entire show.
Floating a stage above people's heads. And then, like I said before, you incorporate people into your performance art, your music. Kanye knows that people are very important to art. People, relationships, getting people involved and related to what you're creating is very important. And Kanye knows this.
I need you right now. I need you right now.
Now, if we want to talk about sonics, I'm going to bring up an example of a song that I started making on the stream. I was really trying to heavily be inspired by the sound on Donda and how there was a lack of instrumentation. A lot of people were complaining that there weren't enough drums or, you know, whatever. It seems empty, but that's the whole point. It's not supposed to have all this fluff. In this case, I went with a lack of details. I made this beat called What Am I Feeling? Because I didn't know what to call it. Like, what am I feeling right now? Well, let's just call it that.
I just need a real one. I just need a couple real ones with me. I never need them. Tell me what do I feel today? And will it ever go away? If you stay, I'll be grateful. Whatever I feel.
I feel like Kanye is really communicating the idea of more with less, proving more, showing more with less. No hi-hats, no snares in this beat. It's just 808 drums and 2 synths, I believe. And the verse is literally just a synth until the drums come later on. But that's my way of keeping it minimal. When you learn how to master the art of doing more with less, you're able to create things that resonate even better with people because you're focused on things that are not necessarily to do with sound, but intentions and emotion behind what you're creating. Because I don't care what anybody says, the emotion that you use to create a song will be felt. It's a secret that people don't want to admit because it seems kooky. It can't be proven. It's not scientific. Like, bump science. This is beyond our own understanding. Check out this verse.
If you have to ask, then you never know. Even got a past to show. I don't know the name of honor. Wow. 2 times with a tone pump, but it's compa. But don't lie, don't lie. Cut it in it, lie, that's where we go. Everybody feeling real good. Coming down to my hood. Put your hands to the sky.
The whole intro in the first verse, there was barely anything in what's being said, what's being sung, and even what's being played in the music. Very stripped down, very minimal. But then when the chorus hits, it's still minimal. But the processing that I did to the bass, the way that I made certain things sound distorted and just bigger, I made it very much a maximalist feel with little. Very little. It feels very epic.
I just need a real one. I just need a couple real ones with me. I never need them. Tell me what do I feel today? And will it ever go away?
no tune, bro. Sometimes, and I've been saying this since before Wicked Deed came out, because I've tried to tell you guys, minimalism is in. Minimalism is what we're at. It's where we're at right now. It's what we're doing. It's what musicians are doing. From the introduction of lo-fi and that getting more popular, and how that's just like a couple chords and super simple, maybe 5 instruments. If you look at Dre's videos, he'll tell you lo-fi, it's very stripped down. You don't have to put a whole bunch of stuff on there. So focus your sound. Focus, make everything that you do in your beat intentional. Make every hi-hat choice, every snare choice, every drum, everything let it serve its purpose for you. Don't just try and go out there and what else can I add just to make more noise. No. Think, what story does this instrument tell? What story does this paintbrush tell? What story does this lens tell? If you're a musician, think about your drum choices, your instrument choices. If you're a singer or a songwriter, think about your lyrical choices. There's no rules. You can do whatever you want to do. You can do whatever you want to do. Number 4 is realizing the importance of an experience. And then, it's just all these things. And even when I saw the show live, St. Pablo tour live, the show said it started at, I think, 9 o'clock? The show didn't start until like 10:30, an hour and a half later. And then when you come out, they're like, yes, finally, ah! And then everybody's screaming. It's part of the experience. It's also part of incorporating people into your art. Once again, the illusion of a delay, the illusion of being separated from the world. All these things they're illusions, and I want to encourage you to watch a movie called The Prestige, starring Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale.
Do you have anything to say?
I learned so many things about being a performer, being an artist, being a creative from this movie. So this magician figures out how to do a disappearing trick where he teleports into another door. Spoiler alert, by the way. And that's Christian Bale's character. And then Hugh Jackman's character, he's also a magician, but he wants to figure out how in the world did this guy do this teleportation? It's impossible. There's no trap doors. There was nothing. How did he do it? Again, spoiler alert, the way that Christian Bale's character did it is he had a twin on the other door. Hugh Jackman and the audience doesn't know this. So basically, this guy went to research Nikola Tesla, the actual scientist, godfather of electricity, all that stuff. And he figured out how to clone himself forever just to pull off this one trick. So every single night he would clone himself, disappear, quote unquote, and teleport to the back of the audience, and that would be the trick. He teleported from the stage to the audience, but that person up there was a clone. After every show, because you can't walk around with all these clones of yourself, so what did he have to do? He had to
sacrifice, Robert. That's the price of a good trick. But you wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
I've made sacrifices.
It takes nothing to steal another man's work.
It takes everything.
No, wait, I'm not...
Kill the clone. In other words, he had to kill himself. And I say all this to say, and there's so much more to learn from the movie, so I highly recommend you watch it still, even after me saying all this. But the dude became his art. He became his art. Kanye has mastered the art of becoming the art he creates. He turned his music that he created to get over all these things into a visual experience. And people, I think, especially artists who are not well off, us independent artists, we don't do this enough. This is also one of the reasons why I do live streams more often now, because it's an experience. It's a one-on-one, one-on however many people are in my chat, but we all are talking with each other. We're friends. We're literally actual friends. The authenticity of a friendship, with my subscribers, it's real. And that's one way that I've created an experience with my audience. I listen to their music, or I will make a beat live and then I'll premiere it the next week. So you just have to figure out some kind of experience, whether, and this even goes if you want to be a YouTuber, if you want to post your music on YouTube or post your art on YouTube. YouTube is another way to create an experience. Part of having a YouTube channel is not caring what people will think or say about what you post. If we go all the way back to number one, create for yourself. Create because you love it. Create because your emotion is being communicated. Create because you love what you hear, you love what you see, and you just want to put out the things you love. So then number 5, and I think this is one of the most important ones, which kind of just goes with what I was just saying. Done is better than perfect. Kanye West right now is the epitome of such things because he debuted a full album that was not finished. Some of the vocals you could tell were recorded on an iPhone. Some of the vocals, there were no vocals. Some of them were just beeps and sounds and things like that. And I think this is actually very funny because you hear some of the songs on there where he's just yelling or screaming or digitizes his voice, or some other guy is just saying, outside, outside, outside. I don't know what that dude's saying or if he's saying anything at all. But now, I thought this was a joke when I first saw it, but it's not. He's dead serious. Last year, Kanye started beeping at his friends, saying that words were the lowest forms of communication. I've been releasing these gibberish songs where I just record reference vocals, but the notes are there for the vocals, the rhythms are there for the vocals, the beat is finished. There's just no lyrics. It's just me. I'm on the bed. I might say like 1 or 2 actual words, but the rest is just sound. I posted this on Instagram, I posted it on YouTube. I had people in my DMs saying, where can I get this? I want to make a dance to this. This is dope. Can you finish it? When is it coming out? And I'm like, bro, there's not even lyrics to it. And people are still feeling an emotional attachment to these. It's proof to me and proof to you. Let me impart my knowledge to you. And it sounds weird. I don't want people to just like go out and start making a bunch of gibberish and, you know, call it music. Cause like you still have to be very intentional and still try to make something. You can't just, well, legend said I don't have to, I can say poop all like poopity scoop. Like that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying whatever you actually feel on the inside. If there are no words to communicate that thing, but you have the sounds, you have the notes, you have the rhythms, you have the music, do it anyway. It's gonna sound unfinished to some people, but if your intentions and emotions are in the right place, it's going to reach someone. There's more to music than just producing. It's about being a human being. It's a lot to swallow. Dang.
Do I have to tell you again? I'm a godly figure, oddly figured, blessings come in. Hey, how many of y'all listening to the voice of reason? Heed the message, then say amen. Universally, it's irking me just how they jerking me around.